Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and all my friends. After talking about responsible parenthood and knowing thyself, we have to talk now about who is Guru and why we need a Guru. Per se, no one needs a Guru, because the God in action, the material universe, is the manifestation of God in action. We have a choice to take the material universe, the Mother Nature, and the great display of wisdom, experiential wisdom, all around us, the evolutionary wisdom. We can take advantage of the Guru present around us, the God in action. Why we need the Guru? Because it is easy to know the wisdom by reading the books, by contemplating, by meditating. We could feel the wisdom, but that is not enough. We have to make solid earth out of it. We have to make solidification so that we could stand upon it, that it becomes the rock of rest. We need the rock of rest because our mind needs to feel completely fearless, completely at rest, to focus, to bring out 100% efficiency. So it has to have the rock of rest under its own feet. So we need to make earth. In yoga, this is known as bhumikaran, to make earth, the solidification. In scientific terms, we can call that materialization. When the virtual world gets manifested as the material, the solid particle. How we could do that? The quantum physics has already showed us through the quantum observation, through participation in that quantum phenomena, and we could collapse the wave function through our participation, and we can create a particle of that wave. So our knowledge, our wisdom from the book, from what we receive from the word, thought, and action of others around us, and our own actions. But before we reach to our own actions, all the wisdom, what we see, what we hear, stays in the virtual world. We cannot stand upon it, and we need the bottom. So we have to build the bottom of our character. As I talked before, that any guru who is teaching yoga and who doesn't mention and who doesn't prepare the disciple, the aspirant yogi, of these 5 Sarvabhauma Satya, the universal truths, the 5 basics to build the bottom of the personal character. And that are the truth, non-violence, the recognition of the rights of all the sentient beings for their happiness and their happy existence on earth, and the fuel efficiency, and the attitude, the mental attitude of bringing down the divine attributes to focus on those divine attributes which have the biggest circle of compassion, which includes everything, everyone, like universal empathy, universal goodwill, justice, universal equality. So my dear brothers and sisters, we have already known all the wisdom, how to build the bottom of our golden jug, our mind. Because if we don't build the bottom of our golden jug, it will leak. And maybe the bottom will fall off. When the bottom falls off, then we become the bottomless pit. We talk about idealism, but we behave like the demons and devils of self-possessive idealism. Like the Pol Pot of Cambodia, Idi Amin of Uganda, the Hitler, the Ravana of Hinduism, the great symbol of greatest learned Pandit. My dear brothers and sisters, we need to build a solid ground under. And how could we do that? We need to perform, we need to practice. So we come to the second part of yoga, that is niyam. From yam, we come to niyam. And niyam is the repetition. And through the repetition, continuous repetition, we transfer the conscious action into subconscious action. We do the automation of that continuous action, that repetition. And that becomes a habit. That becomes a pattern. And once it is transferred to the subconscious mind, it becomes automatic. Then there is very little perspiration. There is no feeling like it is a hard work. It's an automatic work. It just happens. And you perform those actions, the divine attributes, even not knowing, not being conscious. But the point is that we must be conscious without perspiration. And that is the greatest gift of Mother Nature, to give us the faculty of subconscious mind, which creates the automation of our habits, our patterns of thought, word, and deed. And through this repetition, we will form the solid earth. We will materialize. Once we create the particle, once we collapse the wave, we have to let it solidify. My dear brothers and sisters, let me start the work now of making the solid body. We are going to manufacture the divine body through the automation of our wisdom of Brahma Vidya, knowing ourselves. So the Guru is like a pole in the center, like a nucleus. And you become like an electron, you go around that Guru. And believe me, you don't need a Guru who talks. You could have a guru in the form of an idol, of a clay idol, or put it at some place. Like the great Eklavya, who was greatest archer on earth. When he was refused, he was a son of a tribal. And when the great Guru Dronacharya of Mahabharata, he said, I don't teach you, you are a tribal. I teach only the descendants and the children of royal families. I teach only the Kshatriyas, the warriors. I don't teach you the art of archery. He said, all right, great Guru. And he went to the jungle and made a clay idol and put it under a tree, and he started practicing archery. My dear brothers and sisters, every time he will perform the action, he will go to the idol and say, I'm sorry, I wasn't concentrating properly. I'm sorry, I'll improve next time. So the second time, third time, fourth time, I went on, believing that idol, the Guru, Dronacharya. The Guru Dronacharya, who said no to him, he said, no problem. I'll make an idol of Dronacharya, a clay idol. And he learned the archery and became the best in the world. My dear brothers and sisters, that is what I mean by a nucleus, a pole of your consciousness. And you go around, you repeat on and on the Brahma Vidya, the great principles of Mother Nature, the great divine attributes, and you practice those divine attributes on and on. You will solidify and you will manufacture your solid body, your divine body. And within 9 months or 10 months, as a mother gives birth to a child, who started like a small, little, insignificant zygote in her womb, becomes a living being, a materialized child. The Guru is the womb. Guru is the womb who will give birth to that child, the divine body. My dear brothers and sisters, if we want to really know what the Guru is and what are the characteristics of the Guru, you can have a taste of all your gurus, so-called gurus in the world. We have an epidemic and a pandemic all over the planet of gurus. They are everywhere. You go around any bush in the jungle, you will find a guru. But if they don't have these characters, believe me, you are misled and you are with a false guru. The very first characteristic of a guru must be compared and must be contemplated by the characteristics of water. Guru must be like water, egoless, like water. And the Guru must allow the great germination of the divine attributes, and from the germination, the shaping of the great tree of benevolence, the divine body. So it has to be like water, who gives a wake-up call to the human potential, to the whole potential of that disciple, and says to the disciple, don't worry, I will hold your colors. I will help you to display your own beautiful self. You are. And you are the image of God. So a guru has to create independence, the freedom. But if a guru doesn't create the freedom of mind, of thought, word and deed, and if a guru creates dependence like a drug, like opium, like morphine, my dear brothers and sisters, he is a false guru. He is a false prophet. Because creating dependence is making another human being, the disciple, as a slave. And there has been the history full of slave dynasties of the humanity. And the whole humanity has many stories of slave trading, the slave kingdoms, the great slavery which has manifested after the Industrial Revolution, when everybody has become the slave of few people. Just 1% and 99% of humanity is a slave. The system which creates slavery is not good for the humanity. It is not evolution, it is devolution. We are going back towards the serpentine mind, towards the reactive mind. So, my dear brothers and sisters, and all my friends, the guru is like water. It helps you to germinate your own potential. That is your own potential. It's not given by the guru. The guru is only helping you to germinate your own potential, the genetic code, the genetic legacy of your own. And guru is assuring and giving assurance and helping the disciple to bloom and flourish into a greatest tree of life. As Lord Buddha said, I found my path. This is the way I went, and I discovered my freedom, my nirvana. But you have a choice. You follow your own. So the great guru has to have the characters of water, without ego. The guru must never insist upon his identity, upon his form, because you put the water in any container, it takes the shape of the container. It is formless. You put a little bit of salt, it takes the taste of that salt. You put a little bit of color, it takes the color of that. It allows the proliferation, it allows the greatest display, it allows the evolution, it allows the whole potential to come out and display the best self, display the greatest divine self, the image of God we are, everyone. So a guru must be like water. And not only it helps to germinate the potential, but it also irrigates time to time, so that that will become into a tree of life, a tree of divine attributes, and bring the fruits of divine attributes to give to everybody for the universal welfare. My dear brothers and sisters, we will talk about what is Guru and the mystery of Guru and few successive steps. So for today, we have started who is Guru, and we have started investigating why we need a Guru. We need the Guru for the solidification and making the earth and manufacturing our divine body, the divine earth. Thank you very much and have a very, very beautiful day. Thank you very much.